I wanted to make this skirt but doll size, so the first thing I did was take out my pant pattern and then cut it to be spread out. This is what it ended up looking like. Here I'm about to cut it out. Good old bobbin winding like I always post. Every minute in this video is a real life owl. That's the thing. Because once I had the pattern pieces, cut everything out, it took me 3 hours to sew it, sew all buttons, and make sure it fit properly. I didn't end up using the entire bobbin that I wound, so I guess I'm just going to have to use it for some other project. Maybe making a mock-up or something. Next up, I put the bobbin in the machine, thread it, and I start sewing the crotch seam on the center, on the front and on the back, which is just following the curve in the pattern piece. I actually messed up at one point and sewed it instead of doing side seam, I did the middle crotch seam instead, which ultimately made it harder to hem it. As you can see, here I am doing it the correct way. I started this project in October because that's when I made the pattern piece, but I wasn't able to properly sew it until now. However, in the future, I may do this again, but do it slightly different. Because I didn't iron anything, and which made it look kind of odd. There's a different way you can make a split skirt. Because the way I did it was took the front and back of my pant pattern and slash and spread it, which is where you cut it to the very end and it's all even. I sewed the panel, but it was too big, so I had to trim that down. Here's what it looks like. And now I am adding a waistband because my pattern doesn't fit properly in the back. It's one I made myself, so I'm just glad it works. I did this by cutting out the elastic needed to fit around the doll's waist, and then took out a little bit of it, and then used some of my, I remember the official name for what it's called, but it's the fabric that you cut out of a project and it is too small to use for anything else. So this way I'm not wasting some fabric, I'm just using what's too small when I cut stuff out. To this, I sew the ends of the waistband to keep the elastic in place. Then I attach it to the skirt. The elastic in place by going back and forth like I'm doing now. Here I have already attached the buttons, and I should have attached the waistband after I put on the skirt. You can see that I didn't use thread that matched it. I didn't realize it was this bad of a view, but you can kind of see how big the skirt is. I didn't cut any threads of thread, because it was just something to sew after, not sewing for 3 months. Here I am adjusting my pattern that I made to be slightly smaller. It is for our generation doll, because I have the basic pattern pieces to do that for that instead of American Girl doll. I made a pant pattern for them, but I can't find my top pattern for it. And then the pant pattern I only have because it's on the mock-up is on a doll, not in paper foam, because the back is missing. Anyway, here's what it looks like done. It was fun doing this, and leave a like or subscribe if you want to see more content like this.